Day. The things you see.
Assad Khan, an absolutely beautiful sight. Matthew Kerner, probably while stroking his beard. Someone saw the light. Kathleen Parks Mackey, nurse, West Virginia Health System. This is an awful gesture, Sheila Signs. You can put a large sign in my yard anytime.
Brenda A. Miller. Kathleen Parks Mackey. Why is it awful? The homeowner decided to get rid of it.
Kathleen Parks Mackey, nurse, West Virginia Healthcare System. Brenda A. Miller, because I think so is why. Brenda A. Miller.
Brenda A. Miller. Kathleen Parks Mackey. Very logical. I just asked why out of curiosity. Unbind your knickers. Brenda A. Miller. Kathleen Parks Mackey. Can we back up my name with a comment, or you just want to say my name? It's all okay.
Kathleen Parks Mackey, nurse, West Virginia Healthcare System. Brenda A. Miller. Whatever. I did back up a comment.
Brenda A. Miller. Kathleen Parks Mackey. It's okay. Go back up and reread. Listen, I don't have a dog in this fight. I merely ask a question. I know Sheila, I like her, and I love Beth.
Beth Cuckoos Day. Brenda A. Miller, that works out great because I love you too.
Assad Khan. Brenda A. Miller, I love you, Mrs. Miller. I didn't even have to meet you.
Luann Rocher. Assad Khan, you would love her. Love you, Beth. I would probably throw it away also, and I don't even live in Upshur.
Beth Cuckoos Day. Luann Roger, I love you too. And you're right, he would love her. Assad Khan, you would love Luann Roger and Brenda A. Miller both.
Brenda A. Miller. Beth Cuckoos Day. Man could be in trouble if he met us. Would be asking himself, what was I thinking? Brenda A. Miller. Assad Khan, then call me Brenda.
Assad Khan. Brenda A. Miller, I think I found my next campaign crew.
Luann Rocher. Beth Cuckoos Day. Maybe I need to find you a pot stirrer.
Rhonda Sensel Cerulio. Terrible! What is wrong with people?
Brenda A. Miller. Rhonda Sensel Cirillo must be having a mean Monday. I say we all pray for her.
Rhonda Sensel Cerullo. Brenda A. Miller. LOL.
Shane Jenkins. Isn't that illegal?
Assad Khan. Shane Jenkins, it is not. Somebody on their own property throws it away, then it's their own choice. Only if it is stolen or vandalized is it illegal.
I guess so. I picked up a couple that had blown away and ended up in the street after that night of wind we had a while back, both of which were candidates I don't agree with. I just hate to see it because I know those things aren't cheap.
Assad Khan. Shane Jenkins, absolutely. I'm glad you do. I see them all over the time flying all over the place, especially with those hard winds. Talking about everything, when are we getting you on my show?
Caden Cowder. Yes, it is. Taking someone else's sign or destroying a sign amounts to theft or destruction of property and can be a criminal offense according to Mac Warner. Yeah!
Assad Khan. Caden Calger. Caden, you are not getting anywhere acting like a journalist or a lawyer because clearly you aren't either. And will never amount to it either. It is, in fact, not illegal to throw away a sign. That is according to common sense and actual law. It was given to the person, not rented to the person. The person can do whatever they want. In fact, this is the finest example of free speech.
Caden Cowder. Shane, apparently what happened is that the sign had blown into an elderly lady's yard from a neighbor's property. She didn't know what to do with it, so she put it in her trash can, but left it visible so someone could take it. They just put their own spin on it to try and make an immature political statement.
Assad Khan?
Yeah!
And I think virtually everyone listening to this right now. Caden Cowger, coming from Caden Cowger. That's cute.
Luann Rozier. Caden Cowger. I believe if it is on public property and you steal it, destroy it, vandalize it, etc., that could be criminal. Slap on the wrist. But if someone willingly agrees to place it in their yard, personal property, they can later just file it in the trash without any recourse. Beth Sycophus, is this correct?
Caden Cowger. Luann, the signs are still the property of the candidates, even when they are placed temporarily on someone else's property. In this case, it appeared to be an honest mistake, but the people in this thread attempted to twist it into a sophomoric political statement.
Luann Rozier. Caden Cowger. Okay. I get that they are the property of the candidates, but do you know any candidates that go retrieve all the signs? All their signs from the people, private property, like they do on public property? I myself have thrown away many campaign signs. Honestly, I'm not making this political at all. I'm not from Upshur County, nor do I know Miss Signs or any other candidate.
Caden Cowger. Luann, yeah! Most candidates go and retrieve as many signs as they can on the night of the following the election. Again, this was innocently done, but tried to politicize it.
Assad Khan. Luann Rozier, your first statement, Caden Cowger, I believe that it is on public property and you steal it, destroy it, vandalize it, etc., that would be criminal, a slap on the wrist. But if someone willingly agrees to place it on their yard, personal property, they can just later file it in the trash without any later recourse. Beth Sycophus, is this correct? Is correct. I checked with an actual lawyer. Luann Rozier, actually, all of your statements are correct.
Luann Rozier. Assad Khan almost seems like common sense. I have never had a candidate for my county that I've supported ask for their sign back. I have also agreed to place some in my yard and later discarded them prior to the election. Changed my mind that they were indeed getting my vote. I didn't call them up and say, "Hey there, I'm not voting for you now. Here's your sign."
Assad Khan. Luann Rozier, exactly, and it is. Some people try to be lawyers and try to be journalists, but fail at both.
Caden Cowger. Luann, the poly bags are generally purchased for one-time use. However, again, most candidates pick up their signs as they are their property. If someone steals a campaign sign and is caught, the candidate or candidates committee presses charges. For example, if they ever catch the person that spray painted a candidate's sign in Tennerton, it will be the candidate that will be pursuing it, not the landowner.
Notice that the candidate's name was never mentioned and that candidate whose sign was painted has found out. Who knows who painted his sign? He does, and pressing charges soon to be.
Caden Cowger. The signs are property of the candidates. The same application would be applicable in West Virginia.
Caden,
Yeah!
think about signs being stolen and not being thrown away. Assad Khan. Luann Rozier, I'm sorry, he does not represent Buchanan. He is his own special breed and cannot tell the difference between stealing signs for the benefit of candidates or the sign being done with the candidate's trash. I checked with a lawyer of many years, not a wannabe Rush or Judge Judy, Kenneth Copeland, and you are in fact correct. Luann, I'll be discussing it more on my show with Beth, Allison, and Harrison, and possibly a special guest on Friday. Hassan shared a link to his show that you are currently listening to.
Assad Khan. Thanks. I caught a piece of last week's show with Beth.
Assad Khan. Luann Rozier, thank you. Beth is awesome.
Luann Rozier. Assad Khan, she's one of a kind.
Marcy Gamble. Illegal for sure. Sheila Lewis signs you need to file charges if you can find out where this is.
Brenda A. Miller. Marcy Gamble, not illegal if the homeowner did it themselves.
Kathleen Parks Mackey, nurse, West Virginia Healthcare System. Marcy Gamble, exactly. I thought he was illegal too. Marcy Gamble, that pic really helps for evidence, don't it?
Sandra Small. Ha ha! I know exactly where that is.
Victor and Linda Zickafoos.
It might just be that it was damaged. The wind in the last few days broke a couple of mine, broke the spot welds. I was able to repair them, and some people might not be able to.
Assad Khan. Victor and Linda Zickafoos, it wasn't. Rob Gifford. Victor and Linda Zickafoos, you are correct. The homeowner was tidying up a yard and this blown down the street quite a ways. I saw it and asked if I could remove the sign from the trash and return it to its owner. She was very happy to help, no malicious intent at all. Problem solved. And now we can each do each other an act of kindness out of respect for each other. My mentor would be impressed. Thank you, Beth. I was able to save this one. Rob shared his own post that he took after he took someone else's trash. Rob Gifford. If I see anyone, I'll retrieve it and return it to the owner.
Debbie King Foster. I have a rhetorical question for some of you. Is your self-worth so low that you have to get on FB and try to defame someone to make yourself feel better? ? I am sickened by the comments I see from someone that should be setting an example for the community, not acting like a child in a schoolyard fight. You should be lifting people up, not tearing them down. Am I wrong? Do you really have to fight dirty to win? If so, you don't need to win. Isn't that a Bible scripture I see at the top of this page? Be kind to one another. Peace out. I wish you all the best. Stay safe. No need to reply because I will not be looking at this post any further. Beth Zickafoos Day. Debbie King Foster, I would love to answer it. My self-worth is fine. My problem lies with a person saying they're a Christian but still acting like a hypocrite and a bigot and making threats against people. Zooms right over that second commandment. Nothing Christ-like about that. Nah, my self-esteem is just fine.
Kathleen Parks Mackey, nurse, West Virginia Healthcare System. Debbie King Foster, judge of all judges. Well, I'm sure she has been forgiven about her sins, about everyone else that believes that they are above everyone else. I, for one, don't judge, nor will I ever judge anyone, but I will bet that you will stand up if I believe something just like Sheila, and I, for one, believes in Sheila's signs. She has not and will not hide behind anyone else's tail skirt to speak her mind, and that's what Buchanan needs. We need someone that will be here for people. Sheila, if you need anyone campaigning for you, and do it without degrading or demeaning another person, I'll be on your side and will not do as the people of Upshur County do. I'm just sorry. I can't leave this alone, but this really has me fired up. What is self-worth? Is your self-worth just about yourself? Sounds like to me not much worth at all to me. Just saying. Assad Khan. Kathleen Parks Mackey, are you supposed to be a nurse supporting someone who hates Muslims, gays, etc.? Interesting healthcare standards. I'll make sure to let my people know, especially the patients. Kathleen Parks Mackey, nurse, West Virginia Healthcare System. Assad Khan, threats don't bother me. I'm old enough to know better. You could never ruin my rapport I have with my patients, and I'm there for them, not anyone else. Assad Khan, just like our President of the United States. I may not always agree with him, but I do think he's doing a good job. Absolutely. Sheila Signs, the reason I love you, girl, is because you have moxie, girl. Don't you ever lose that. Assad then shares his post about the journalist, not lawyer, the conservative panel on pros and cons.
Kathy Flanagan Reed. I really am so lost. I've read every comment on this post, and this conversation went to hell with back up my name with comment. What the hell was that? Why? I'm not into politics by no means. But we all have our pasts and faults. Yes, back then we had no idea how much our past would impact the future roads we chose. We were young and made adolescent decisions, but must we blast all that on FB? And as far as beliefs, well, that's what everyone has fault for their right to their beliefs. Let's fight for our spot, but fight for it with dignity and self-respect, not self-worth. Because I myself see everyone has worth, and I'm really not sure what nursing has to do with Muslim gay haters. But your childlike behavior of taking this to patients seems your standards need a little more polishing. Tattletaling is for kindergarten. My best to both candidates. Hope the winner can give Buchanan what it needs.
Kathleen Parks Mackey, nurse, West Virginia Healthcare System. Kathleen Flanagan Reed. Well, I guess it all started because I posted that I thought that the sign was in the garbage was an awful gesture.
Kathy Flanagan Reed. Kathleen Parks Mackey. Damn shame on you. LOL.
Kathleen Parks Mackey, nurse, West Virginia Healthcare System. Kathleen Flanagan Reed. I know, right?
Kathy Flanagan Reed. Somebody needs to go to that lady's house and bad girl let her know she, with just cleaning her yard, started a political war. just funning you, girl. Love you.
Kathleen Parks Mackey, nurse, West Virginia Healthcare System. Kathleen Flanagan Reed. I know. Ronald Nelson. What's the big deal? The homeowner found some trash in their yard and threw it away.
And scene. That was perfect. That was perfect. So I want to give a couple shout outs just right here. First off, for the voice of Nurse Mackie, not Nurse Jackie. Danny Stiles, so that was awesome. For the nurse of Brenda and Luann and many others, Anita Moore, that was awesome. For the amazing smoker and
I've had no practice.
and awesome pumpkin spice latte teenager, we had Laura Folks. Awesome. And then, of course, they're saying everybody can be a drag queen. Yeah! For Kaden was myself. So, wow, that went awesome. And this is, again, this is all being recorded. It will be put up on YouTube, so you can watch it on YouTube. But then on top of that, we are going to continue doing this every 2 weeks. We will have more and more comments taken right from Facebook. We're going to just do it straight from there. And we will also send these videos as well to some of the employers that are in here. Not all, because some are, of course, friends of mine. So we'll send that for they have an idea of who is working for them as well. So now let's get to the after party. This is like after Walking Dead, whenever they sit and all of them just gather around and talk about the same crap that just happened.
Like the stupid new show after The Masked Singer. What is that? Stop taking up my Hulu space.
So what do you think about this whole situation? What do you guys think?
You know, Facebook, and we're all guilty of it. We all get in Facebook fights, but we're adults. Like, what the hell? I mean, okay, an elderly person cleaned their yard. Maybe it did fly in her yard, maybe it didn't. But the problem is the person clearly, if they supported Sheila, doesn't anymore. Or if they didn't, they just wanted to get rid of it. And I know I've thrown away stuff that's thrown in my yard. I've had a few political candidates that I've changed my mind on, or candidates that, you know, are friends of mine. Just because I agree with them on several stuff and we're friends doesn't mean I agree with them politically, so I don't want to put up their sign. People just take stuff too literal. It's a sign, for God's sake.
Anita, what would you think?
Well, I think it's just taking things a little bit out of context and making a big deal out of nothing, really.
I thought it was a great picture, great art.
Yes, I was the one who took the picture. I was driving by after getting Breaks, Dairy Queen. Love Breaks. I'm giving a shout out to Chris. But I was over at Breaks and I was driving back by and I saw I saw the white and the blue and the red. And my heart just shined just from side to side. And I immediately, from ventricle to ventricle, I was so happy and had to bring that up. So I took the picture, sent it to Beth, and Beth was so happy as well, so we immediately put it up on Facebook. And then it created this pure comedy gold. So it was awesome. So next question is, some of these people have made up rumors that actually it was some of the people that you portrayed, Laura, and tried to make their sad life happy just for the benefit of themselves. They make up stuff, just go out on Facebook and try to make up stuff, just make up rumors, make up other junk. What would you say about that, these different types of people?
They're bored. They don't like their own lives. Possibility.
I mean, it's kind of part of, I can understand it more with the younger generation, but that's kind of culture. I mean, we live in this Instagram world where we only portray online everything as happy, shiny people. We all know that there's dirt on several of these people, but they're not going to put their own dirty laundry online. And as you can see, the ones that do, they can't back it up when people actually bring it up with intellect and try to argue with them.
Now, to tie in with Danny, some of these people actually in this feed and also some other people in their type have threatened you to the point that they have stalked you and many other different types of stuff. What do you have to say with that?
Well, we can do a whole show on that sometime. All I could say is it shows a lot of ignorance on their part. Before I even decided to move to Buchanan, my family kind of warned me. They're like, "Are you sure?" I mean, because this place did have a Klan reputation for the longest time. And growing up in Western Maryland, people knew that. And for the first 5 years or so when I lived here, you know, I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with everything. And then 2015, all the politics kind of started, and people started coming out of the woodwork to reveal their true natures. And with my involvement as the past president of Buchanan Pride, you know, I've did a lot with the community, but received a lot of hatred for no reason other than who I love and who I am. And then I decided to take a booking and read for children as my drag persona. And oh my God, the world ended. Was told that I was going to be tied behind a pickup truck and paraded through Main Street which, for those of you that don't know, is the way that a lot of gay people were bashed throughout the Midwest and the South, just as recently as '96 when Matthew Shepard was assassinated. So it's not uncommon for these people to think like that, but their comments have been sent to the proper authorities, and whether they like it or not, even the candidates that supported this, mainly the one who claims that they are a God warrior, is being watched by the proper government authorities to make sure that that's not being taken care of.
Good. Very, very good. Now, question for everyone here. Is there really no hate here?
There is no hate quite like right-wing love. And I'm not going to say Christian love because God knows I have some good Christian friends, but right-wing
Extremists. The extremists.
I mean, it is both sides. I mean, I've cut ties with some liberal friends too because it can get just as bad on the left. And for someone like me, which you'll find out in an article that I'm writing for Mountaineer News, I don't fit left or right. So someone who sits in the middle don't fit in, and you try to like, hey, I have this view, and then one person tries to kill you because of this, and another person tries to take you down because you don't agree with the left. It's idiotic.
Well, the sad thing is, I mean, if we're all supposed to be Americans, I mean, I pay my tax dollars just like everybody else, and if I have certain beliefs that are not the same as another person's, does that mean that I'm not entitled to that belief or that religion or whatever it may be that I have a different opinion about? In this threat of violence, it's like when I looked at some of this stuff on Facebook, I was kind of shocked at everybody actually saying, you know, oh, let's take this person out and drag them down the street. Let's do this. Let's do that. And yet at the same turn, some of those same people were saying how awful that those people were, and they were making horrible threats about physical violence towards those people.
Laura? If you have a comment.
No comment.
No comment, okay. Now, here's also a really good question. So we mentioned in this group of comments that there was a nurse that I think everyone knew who she was because we made it very clear. But would you feel comfortable going to a nurse like this? This is for everyone.
If it was known prior, no. I mean, I've been to certain clinics and one nurse actually walked out because she didn't agree with my sexual history. And I just asked for another nurse. I was like, if you can't do your job, I'm not going to make you, but I don't want you in my room. And it's just crazy. I mean, if I was an African American, a Muslim, or whatever, would that nurse treat me any different? And it's just crazy. You take an oath when you're a healthcare worker. Me and Anita had conversations. We both were in the Army Medical Corps, and I'm sure she can relate. There's times when you have to take care of your enemy, and your job comes first. These are human lives. They're not Iraqi. They're not Afghani. They're people. Everyone deserves a basic chance at life and a basic chance at health, and if you can't give them that, then you're in the wrong job.
And as nurses, we are supposed to be there for our patients, and we are to advocate for our patients. And it really shouldn't matter what their gender preference is, what their cultural beliefs are. None of that should matter. And, the only time in nursing that, nurses can say, okay, maybe I shouldn't take care of this patient, is if it's someone they know personally, their relative, or if what they're doing as a nurse is not something that they believe in, or it, could cause problems with their own personal religious beliefs, and abortion is a big one. So, you wouldn't a nurse would never have to participate in anything that she didn't agree with, but however, taking care of patients, that's a little different.
Or do you have anything? Or...
I mean, if my nurse hated white women, I probably wouldn't want her near me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep. Now, is this a good example of what we should not have in the medical field? Would everyone kind of agree with that?
I can agree to that.
Oh, yeah. Views like that don't belong near patients.
Now, with the sign going in the garbage, it was a perfectly fine sign. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just in the garbage. And this begs the question that other signs of this same exact candidate are disappearing in town. Over near Wesleyan and many other different places, they're disappearing. And it does beg the question, are these people throwing them away because they're done? Are they being stolen? Are they being vandalized? I mean, what else could be happening? What do you guys think?
Maybe teenagers are bored
Could
with
be.
this whole pandemic.
Or maybe like we said in the earlier feature, that the wind is carrying things away.
Or maybe perhaps they're learning the kind of person that they're trying to support. You put a sign out for a bigot, and you might not personally identify as one, but that's like saying, I don't support, well, personally, I'll say, I don't support Trump all the way, but I support some of his policies, so I put out a Trump sign. That identifies me as a Trump supporter, even if I don't agree with him 100%. So that's not something that I think people would want to be associated with. And when this candidate comes out mocking the arts in the community, mocking all the minorities, maybe people are just opening their eyes and realizing this isn't the kind of people that we want representing us. And have they checked the dump? I mean, I'm pretty sure you could go up there and go through garbage if that's what you choose to do to get your money back.
I mean, people don't want to be connected to a bigot. They don't want to be associated with that either. So, and especially, someone as a hypocrite that is saying there's no hate here, but then says stuff like this. So, no pun intended, but is this possibly a sign?
Yes. This is definitely a sign.
As Bill Edenball would say, here's your sign.
Anita, what would you say?
I guess it's a sign.
All right, well, that kind of ends all of our questions. Is anyone else would like to add on?
I just think it's cool. I think all of us in this room all sit on different political spectrums, and we're all, look, if we can all sit around and laugh, talk to each other. I mean, I don't know your point of view. You might not know mine, but laughter makes everything better. And, we avoided religion and politics for so long talking it, and that's where we got where we are.
Yep.
I mean, you can't have hard conversations if you don't know how to deal with it. So I actually applaud you for
Thank you.
for actually bringing this type of stuff to town.
Anything else? Nora, anything else? All right. And with that, it marks the end of our live broadcast. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and during these rough times, to take care of each other, for that is the only way we will get through this all. Hey, announcer. Yeah!
Thanks for tuning into the Pros and Cons podcasts. Check back daily for more episodes. And remember, if everyone around you is an asshole, maybe you're the asshole.